right, we're going to finish up Unit 7 with Chapter 21 on getting a job. So you can tell your parents you now know how to get a job. This continues Unit 7, which is Career Planning in a Global Economy. This first section, 21.1, focuses on qualifying for a job. So our objectives for this section are to discuss the importance of understanding employers' wants and needs and describe some of the qualifications employers seek in employees. So once you have an idea of what you want to do, you can take the next step and start the job search. As you search for a job, you'll learn more about various qualities that employers look for in employees. So knowing what employers want and need. Businesses and nonprofits provide different products and services, so they need all kinds of workers to perform different tasks. So for example, if you're at a hospital, hospitals need doctors, nurses, cooks, janitors, supervisors, and administrators. So it's not all just the doctors and nurses there. It's all these other support people that are there as well. Department stores, same thing. You need the retail buyers that are buying the materials that are going to stock the stores. You need sales associates to sell, stock clerks to be the people who are actually physically putting the items on the floor, and then assistant managers and a store manager who supervises everything. So each of these jobs has different tasks and requires a certain level of responsibility and a certain skill set. So you will need to know what employers want and need in an employee. So different jobs require the different qualifications, as we said before. Qualifications are education, skills, and work experience needed to do a particular job. And employers look for more than just qualifications. So qualifications are kind of your starting point, but then you want to look at employability skills, which are the basic skills that you need to get a job, keep a job, and do well at a job. And so these skills are going to be the following three things. We have level of education. For most jobs, employers want applicants to have at least a high school diploma. High school dropouts have fewer job opportunities, especially if they don't have any previous work experience. So the more skills and education that a worker has, the wider the job market will be for him or her. And so there's a figure in the textbook that shows the median salary of a high school dropout is about $20,500, while with leveling degrees of getting a diploma, getting an associate's degree, which is a 2-year degree, a bachelor's degree, or a master's degree, you can see that steadily the median income does rise quite a bit. So basic skills, almost all jobs require some sort of basic skill. You have to do something. So employees must be able to read well enough to function in their job. They should be able to do simple mathematical problems. They must also be able to communicate with others. Basic computer skills such as entering or accessing data are necessary. So many jobs also require basic work-related skills. So if you're working in a warehouse, you may need to know how to operate the forklift or some specific machinery. And then lastly, work experience. Experienced workers have proven skills and a familiarity with the job, so they're going to require less training to do their job. That's why many employers want workers that have some work experience. It's important to get some kind of experience. Most jobs that require skills and experience are going to pay more than those that do not, because they don't have to spend the money on training you. They can usually just turn around and put that in your pocket. The next thing that employers look for when they are interviewing or looking for employees are going to be character and personality. So they're looking for certain traits that are in potential employees. Of course, hard work, honesty, and dependability, and an ability to finish tasks. Having a good attitude towards work, a desire to do the job well, and an ability to work with others. So this is why I am always putting you in groups. You need to be able to work with each other, especially people you don't like. They look for workers that can follow instructions and also take initiative as needed. So having strong character traits and personality traits can sometimes make up for a lack of experience. When I was interviewing for my very first teaching job way back in Texas, I didn't have any experience. I had never student taught. All I had was my degree, my previous work experience in my investments career, and then my, of course, certification to teach. And one of the things that got me hired was the fact that I had such strong character and personality traits. My pets at the time were rescue animals, and the principal determined that anybody who would have rescue pets instead of purebred animals from a breeder, but would go to the local pound and find a cat or a dog as a pet, had a good heart, and that was somebody she would want teaching her students. So that helped me get my first job and made up for the lack of education experience I had at the time. So how can employers learn about these traits in various ways? Mine was through the interview and sharing that story about my animals. But other ways are through your body language. Body language is nonverbal communication. It's your posture, your eye contact, your facial expressions, and your gestures. It's what you're saying when you're not saying anything out loud. Your school performance, so your track record in high school and college, can also indicate some of your character traits and personality traits. Good grades, of course, show motivation and a willing to apply oneself to a task. And then attendance records show that you are punctual and not absent. So that can indicate that you're reliable and show up for work on time. So even though you might not have the most outstanding grades, having good attendance records can help make up for that. Extracurricular activities are activities that you do besides your schoolwork, and they can indicate extra effort and interest on your part, as well as possible leadership. So find something that you're interested in, and that's going to give you some experience and possibly some leadership roles. Volunteer work also shows commitment and responsibility. So your efforts in and out of school create a record that future employers will want to see. And then your overall impression. So think of a personnel director with 3 piles of job applications labeled yes, maybe, and no. Your goal is to get your application into the yes pile. So consider the way you present yourself. Your writing, problem-solving skills, your creative thinking skills, and reasoning skills will show. So employers will be influenced by the way you dress and whether you're well-groomed. They will also notice if you use slang or anything other than standard English. So a good first impression increases your chances of getting hired. Of course, this textbook has an emphasis because it is intended towards American students. So if you're looking for a job here in Korea, there might be some slightly different things that employers are looking for. And I'd be interested to hear your impressions about that. Obviously, probably having a good Korean and not slang Korean would be one of the things instead of English. But being bilingual would probably give you a good heads up into the job world. And that's it for this first section. So we will continue on in just a moment with section 21.2.